we are back for Module 6, Lesson 4, solving two-step equations in the form of P times the sum of x and q, all of it equal to r. You can see I have a very needy kitty cat in my arms right now. He's being rather demanding of attention. The content objective: students will solve two-step equations in the form of, yep, exactly what I said. Pacing guide says this is going to be a super long lesson, so probably be looking, I don't know, 16 resources. We shall just have to see how long this really takes. Petting zoos are popular destinations for families or school field trips. Since visitors can feed and interact with the animals, a certain petting zoo enclosure is the shape of a rectangle with a perimeter of the enclosure being equal to 150 feet. And its length is equal to 40 feet. From here, they're going to tell us the equation that 2 times the sum of the length 40 plus the unknown width is going to equal to 150, and this can be used to find the width of the rectangular enclosure. Explain how you can use a formula with the perimeter of a rectangle, P equals 2 times length plus 2 times width, to write this equation. What are some steps that you can take in order to isolate the variable w in the equation that they gave us? Well, these are all some of the things we're going to learn about in this lesson. Our inquiry question asks, how can you model and solve problems that involve two-step equations with parentheses? Well, let's see what they have to say about that. Mark has 2 summer jobs. He babysits. Why people keep sitting on babies, I don't know. And helps with gardening. He works at each job 3 days a week and earns a total of $240. The table shows his earning each day, so we know he makes $30 every day gardening, and we don't know how much he's getting paid to sit on the brat. How much does he earn each day sitting on the baby? Use a problem-solving strategy to solve the problem and be able to explain the strategy that you used. So what do we know? First off, we know that Mark works each job 3 days a week. That's some important stuff. And we know that he earns a total of $240. That's some important stuff too. And the table shows us how much he earns in each job each day. So, how can you use a bar diagram? First goal here, to find out how much Mark earns each day sitting on the baby. Well, we're going to start off by drawing a bar diagram and be prepared to explain what it actually represents. So, for the bar diagram, we're going to load it up, and we're going to start with an entire bar. Then we're going to acknowledge the fact that you've got 3 days worth of earnings. So each day he's making the same amount of money. He makes the same money gardening each day. He makes the same money sitting on the baby each day. From there, we know that his total earnings is going to equal to $240. So we're off to a good start. But we also know part of his daily earnings. So we're going to break each of those daily earnings down to be the amount he earns sitting on the baby plus the $30 he makes gardening each day. And with that, we have what we need to write the algebraic expression. So we could take and say that 3 times the x plus 30 is going to equal to the 240. And that is exactly what you see here. The 3 times the x plus 30, because there's 3 different days he earns the same amount, is equal to the total amount of 240. So, how much does Mark earn each day sitting on the baby? That's going to be the first question they've asked for us. Alright, so what we're going to do to find out how much he saved or earned each day is we're going to take and got a brand new OneNote thing here, so I'm trying to figure out how all this works. So we're going to take and divide both sides by the, well, I don't want arrows there. Hold on. Alright, we're going to take and divide both sides by the 3. 3 divided by 3, of course, becomes 1. And 1 times x plus the sum plus 30 is going to stay as x plus 30. And that's going to equal to your 240 divided by 3. That's going to end up being 80. So the $80 is going to be the amount of money that he makes each day. So we're going to come right over here and type in 80. and check that answer. And hold on. Oh, hold on. It didn't know how much he made each day. That last word's important there. How much did he make each day sitting on the baby? So to find out how much he made each day sitting on the baby, now I'm going to take an undo addition and subtraction by subtracting 30 from both sides. When we do that, 30's zero each other out, leaving x is equal to, and then 80 minus 30 is going to be 50. So his daily earnings for sitting on that baby, that's going to end up being $50. Take that 50, hit try again, and the answer does check. Now we can also solve these same types of problems by using algebra tiles. So here we have the equation 2 times the sum of x and 6 is equal to 16, and we want to solve them using algebra tiles. Now our textbook even gives us a handy dandy video down here to explain how that gets done.
Algebra tiles to solve two-step equations. P times the quantity x plus q equals r. Use algebra tiles to solve 2 times the quantity x plus 4 equals 12. To model the equation, place 2 groups that each have 1 x tile and 4 yellow tiles on the left side of the mat. Place 12 1 tiles on the right side. Arrange the tiles into 2 equal groups on each side of the mat. Each group is equal to x plus 4 equals 6. You can solve for x in each group. In the first group, remove 4 1 tiles from each side of the mat. Perform the same steps with the second group. For each x tile, there are 2 1 tiles, so x equals 2.
Well, okay, I guess that's it. So that looks pretty simple. So let's lay out our equation here. We're going to have 2 groups of x plus 6 on the left. So I've got an x and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one group and another x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From here, the next thing that we're going to do is set that is equal to 16, and that's going to require a whole bunch of ones here. It would have been nice if they gave us a number that was a little easier to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and set these 16, that's 8 of them up, so I'm going to set these 16 up to where they're going to be already in my 2 equal groups, because you know what? That will just make our life a whole lot easier. And there we go. There we've got our 16. From here, we're going to take and start pulling out what they have in common. So in the first group, let me get that out of my way. In the first group, that means I'm going to kick off 1, I'm going to kick off 2, I'm going to kick off 3, I'm going to kick off 4, I'm going to kick off 5, and I'm going to kick off 6. And that left, x is equal to 2 in the first group. In the second group, same thing. 1, 2, 3, whoops, that one didn't go away. 4, 5, and 6. Somewhere I had a sticky number that didn't go away. But in the end, I get the same thing in both of my groups. It says x is equal to 2. So what's my actual solution going to be? Well, the solution is going to be x is equal to 2. Here's a new problem for you guys. Go ahead and pause the video and work on this. So did you solve the problem? I went ahead and set mine up. We got 4 groups of x plus 1. So our 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of x plus 1 is equal to a total of 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I went ahead and broke down my 8 into equal groups of 2 that lined up with the x plus 1s on the other side. From there, we're going to zero out our like values. So it took a 1 off of each side, another 1, another 1, and another 1. And now, what's your answer for x going to be? Well, every single time, x was equal to 1. And I know there's a place. Yep, there it is. X equals 1. Check your answer. Easy math. Now we could spend more time working these other problems with algebra tiles, but I really think that our time is better spent actually getting in there and solving these problems using algebraic method. An equation like 2 times the sum of x and 6 equals 14 is in the format of p times the sum of x and q is equal to r. It contains two factors. The first factor is going to be p. The second factor is going to be the sum of x and q, and is considered to be a two-step equation because two steps are needed to solve it. Now we're going to take and learn how to solve these type of equations with a video.
One way to solve an equation of the form p times the quantity of x plus q equals r is to first apply the distributive property. Multiply each term inside the parentheses by the number outside the parentheses. Then simplify. Next, solve the resulting two-step equation. In this example, first subtract 6 from each side of the equation. Then divide each side by 3. The solution of the equation is x equals negative 8.
And the distributive property is a great way to do this. It's not the way I did it on the first problem that I worked for you, but it is a really good way of showing quality supporting work.
Another way to solve this equation is to first undo the multiplication by dividing each side of the equation by the number outside the parentheses. In this example, divide each side of the equation by 3, then simplify. Next, solve the resulting one-step equation. In this example, subtract 2 from each side of the equation. The solution of the equation is x equals negative 8. To check the solution, start with the original equation. Replace the variable with the solution. Then simplify to check whether the sentence is true. If so, the solution is correct.
And there you have it. Two different ways to skin the same cat. One of them involving the distributive property, the other one involving isolating the variable first through division and then on doing your addition subtraction after that. Now we're going to go ahead and stop this video here and come back in just a little bit for part 2, where we're going to pick up with example 1, where we're in solving 3 times the sum of x and 5 is equal to 45 and checking our solution. I'll see you in part 2.